This take might be a bit too picante for the populace, but I think one of the reasons that biracials with white moms end up adopting this too white for the black kids, too black for the white mythology is because that's the messaging they receive from their mothers. What are my credentials? Imagine. But I was reflecting on this recently because growing up, a lot of the time, I felt distinctly other, and I was one of those mixed kids that felt like I didn't want to be associated with black culture and desperately tried to white knuckle, hair straighten, punk rock my way, book read my way into whiteness. When I actually reflect on my upbringing and on my adolescence, the black girls weren't rude to me or dismissive of me or frankly ambivalent towards me because I was mixed. It was because I was insufferable. And I learned how to be that insufferable somewhere, and I think it was from my mother. I learned it by understanding my hair and my very being as inconvenient. I learned to recognize my own blackness as a source of frustration. And when I did hear positive things about my blackness, it was things like, well, white people tan their skin to look like you. People perm their hair to have hair like yours. And it was always done in this super fetishizing way that didn't ever leave me feeling proud of my blackness. And when I looked around my family and the dynamics of my family and how they engaged with race, how they thought about blackness, I wasn't exactly picking up from them that it was something that I should be proud of as a component of my identity. I was actually encouraged to see myself neutrally, and neutral is white. I also internalized the idea that black people were monolithic and behaved and engaged in a very specific way that was overtly and subtly conveyed to me as being not very good. Embarrassing, noisy, loud, uneducated. And so when the time came for me to socialize, I already had all of these embedded beliefs about where I sat racially from a point of identity, what I was rejecting and what I was pandering to. I could have been welcomed with open arms and truly believe there were times, especially in my early childhood and middle school days, where I was, but I was unable to receive it because my identity had already been fractured. My relationship to blackness had already been damaged, if you will. And I had already been conditioned to see this part of me, and therefore this part in others, as lesser, as undesirable, and frankly, as problematic.
So before I get started, I have to say thank you to Biracial Becky for this minimal level of self-awareness, honestly, because that's more than I can ask for from most of y'all, right? I say that because if I got on here, right, and said the exact same things that Biracial Becky just said, y'all be hooting and hollering that I'm lying and I'm just jealous cause she cute black, but I'm black, crispy, burnt roach black, so and so, right? Like, Y'all, that's why, look, I'm thankful that some folks are beginning to get a little bit, just like, a minute amount of self-awareness. Like, come on now, let's play the intro. Now, I will say this. I don't know where this woman is from or what her actual black or white makeup is. I don't know if she's from Europe and her black side is African or Caribbean and her white side is some sort of European or something. I don't know, right? But I'm going to speak on this from the perspective of a black American who grew up in a black American community, Detroit, Michigan. I went to Detroit public schools my whole life. I'm a DPS graduate. Come on now. Shout outs to us, right? But yeah, I'm going to talk about it from my perspective, okay? This is the reality. Black folks worship non-blackness. That is the facts, okay? And I say that because do you understand how insufferable you have to be as a non-black person to go into a black space and not be worshipped? Because the default, like literally the default is that black people are going to worship your non-blackness, right? But again, do you understand how terrible you have to be to get around black folks and they not worshiping you? Like, Chile, that says a lot about you. For a long time, whenever this conversation got brought up, right? Oh, the treatment of biracial girls specifically, because for some reason this conversation is extremely centered on girls, right? Whenever this conversation got brought up, it would always be like, oh yeah, the black girls was jealous of me. That's why they was mean to me, so and so, yada yada yada. And I'm just so confused. Cause again, growing up in a black American community, right? And I'm a black American girl, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, I cannot off the top of my head think of a single time where, and mind you, I'm messy. So if there was beef, I was gonna know about it. I knew everybody business. I'm that messy, right? I cannot think of a single time where it was like, oh, so and so and so and so is fighting because yeah, the black girl is jealous of the, like, never, bro, like ever. I'm sitting here thinking like there's never even been a time where it's like that was the speculation, right? Like not even like, oh well, we ain't got it in stone, but it sounds like you kind of jealous of so and so. Like that was never a thing, bro. I'm like, literally, where did y'all grow up at? What the hell was going on? Because I promise you, like for years, bro, there has been a smear campaign against black girls and black women. I kid you fucking not. Because for years, y'all have been insisting that black girls were jealous of y'all. And we was having secret meetings like, yeah, I hate the biracial Becky's. Like, that was not a thing. That was literally not a motherfucking thing. And like I said, bro, in the black community, non-black people are worshipped, right? So if you came up in the black community and black folks was being mean to you, Chile, I tell you, you must have been a very insufferable ass bitch if it got to that point for real. I just be so confused because like y'all be rewriting history and I be confused because it's like, I was there, right? Like that is not how that happened, Chile. Like y'all, when I was growing up, okay, because I was in high school from 2010 to 2014. Okay, so let's just look at the high school years, right? Back then, bruh, like when I tell you non-blackness was put on a pedestal to a crazy degree. If you had light skin, curly hair, whatever, right? So that mean the light skinned, the black Americans, the biracials, who the hell ever, right? Yo shit was worshipped, bro. Like quite literally, everybody was talking about, oh, I like yellow bones, red bones, curly hair, so and so and so, yada yada yada. Like I'm confused on how y'all went through life being worshipped. And then as adults, y'all are talking about somebody was mean to y'all because of your, proximity to whatever. Like, what the hell? We was all there. Nobody was mean to your ass. Everybody was kissing your ass. Like, that's why I be confused. Like, what the hell be going on? Now, let me get into more of the specifics of what Biracial Becky was actually talking about, right? And the first thing I want to bring up is how whenever this conversation of white moms gets brought up, right? White mom biracials versus black mom biracials, everybody ignores the role of the father, right? And I think that is very important, especially in the case, well, just period, right? Just period. But then especially in the case of a biracial with a white mother and a black father, because the father is the black one, right? So like, yeah, if you sitting here talking about your issues with your racial identity and so and so and so, and you 100% putting it on your white mama, well, it's like, I mean, your mama is a white bitch. Which, like, what was she gonna teach you? She can't teach you nothing about blackness. And I be so confused when some biracials be like, yeah, I'm a proud black woman. My white mom taught me that I was a black. How the fuck your white mama teach you that? Like, what? That don't even make sense. But again, I'm getting not off topic, but I'm just, going in a different direction that I don't intend to go into, right? But my point is this, right? If you are like, let's put it, I like to, use scenarios to make more sense, right? Now, I don't date interracially, but I do date interethnically, okay? So let's say that I had a kid with an African guy, not a Caribbean guy. I'm sorry. Look, and I was just thinking about that earlier. I could never date a Caribbean guy because the way they shake their hips like women when they dance, look, the American in me, I'd be like, nigga, that's gay. Like, I can't get into it. But anyway, say I had a kid with an African guy, right? So my kid is half African and half Black American, right? Whose job is it to teach my child about their Black American history and roots and so and so and so? Because it damn sure ain't the African parents' job to do that. Like, come on now. Like, let's be for real, right? Now, let's pretend, right, that the father is not in the children's lives, right? So it's just me, a Black American woman, raising children who are half Black American and half African, right? Well, realistically, my kids are going to heavily fucking identify with Black Americans because their parent who is raising them is Black American and they're growing up in a Black American community. They growing up in Detroit around other Black Americans, right? So can we really be shocked? Let's get back to, biracials. Can we really be shocked when somebody who is half white, right, and is usually predominantly raised by the white parent, because most of the time they be having a white mama and a Black daddy, and a good amount of the time they don't be knowing they Black daddy or whatever, right? Can we be shocked when somebody who's half white, who is predominantly raised by a white parent and grows up in a white neighborhood around all white people, more heavily identifies with whiteness? I don't think that that is fucking shocking at all. And like I said, if y'all are expecting biracials to embrace their half blackness or whatever, then the black parent is required to do that. Because let's pretend that, I'm a black American mother raising bi-ethnic kids. Well, even if I tried to get them, around they other half, whatever they are, right? Realistically, I'm not African. I wouldn't even know where to begin because, like, shit, I don't know where the Africans be at or what the hell they be doing. Like, I wouldn't take them to an African braiding shop to start, baby. You getting your hair braided by black Americans. Hold up, let's be clear. Hold up, right? So, like, where would I even take them? But that's the thing, right? Y'all be putting all of this on the white mothers. They don't even know where to begin. And I guess at least it's easier for them because they can just take them to a braiding shop, right? Or something like, but like, I don't get it. Again, I don't get how the mothers get blamed for the biracial children not embracing their blackness. Bitch, your mama white. What can a white bitch teach you other than how to be white? Like, what? This is the reality though. Women get blamed for everything when it comes to child rearing and whatever, right? Like this happens in the black American community with black Americans. I'm not talking about biracials or bi-ethnics or none of that, right? I swear, no, not even I swear. This literally be happening, right? Y'all blame every single negative in the black community on black American women. Y'all be like, oh, well, the black American women are the ones raising the kids, so every negative thing is their fault. Well, where the daddies at, huh? Like, you literally just was like, yeah, black American men abandon their children at astronomical rates. But that has nothing to do with anything in the black community. That at all in no way contributes to anything negative in our community. No, that's great. That's proper, right? Let's get on those damn black women, right? Like, quite literally, I see parallels between what happens because I can't stand when biracials had these conversations about, how they basically grow up white and they only mention their mama. Right? Now, this is the thing. Women do the primary child rearing. Like, even in a 2-parent household, the children are going to identify more heavily with the mother than they identify with the father because that's just the thing. So again, if I had bi-ethnic kids, guess what? My kids would more heavily identify with black Americans because I'm the mama. I'm the one teaching them the culture. I'm the one cooking dinner. I'm going to be cooking my cultural cuisine, etc., etc., etc. That just is what the fuck it is, right? And folks be like, okay, shrug shoulders, whatever. That's the woman's job to raise the kids. But that becomes a disservice to your children, just period. But especially when you are of a different racial or ethnic background than the mother of your children. Then you need to step the fuck up and instill whatever cultural values or whatever from your background into your children because the mother cannot do that. Ooh, matter of fact, I just thought of a story I got to tell y'all. Now, I've told this story before. If you've been subscribed to me for a while, you've probably heard it before, right? But when I was, I think 15, I went to Blue Lake. Right now, mind y'all, I'm from the state of Michigan, okay? So I'm trying to do it on my hand, but I only have one hand. Michigan looks like this. It's literally a mitten, okay? Now, Detroit is in southeast Michigan. So Detroit is in here like under the thumb, kind of like, look up a map of Michigan, okay? Now, Blue Lake is on the other side of Michigan, or on the pinky side over here, right? So I went to Blue Lake. And baby, when I tell you, Blue Lake is in bumblefuck nowhere, like, I'm not going to hold you, right? So clearly I was the first black person a lot of those kids had met, all right? And mind you, Blue Lake was not, like, very diverse, okay? Now, before I get into the story about the biracial girl, let me start with this white girl my first year. My first year, this white girl going to say to me, she going to say, oh, is it true if black people stand in the sun too long, their skin gets leathery? And I was like, ain't white people the one who burn in the sun? And that bitch didn't even reply. She shut the fuck up talking to me for the next week and a half. The whole time we was there, that bitch didn't say shit else to me because, girl, what the fuck? Like, I was literally confused. And mind you, I was 14 at that time. I might have still been 13 because I was coming out of 8th grade, I think, going into 9th, I think, right? But I was like, girl, what? Like, that didn't make no fucking sense to me. Okay, now fast forward to the second year. I think I was coming out of 9th grade going into 10th grade. So I was 14 going on 15, right? So I get there, and it's this mixed girl in my cabin, right? And one day we end up in the cabin alone because neither of us had a minor. So some people were at their minor, taking classes because everybody had a major, and then some people had a minor, some people didn't, right? So during minor time, the people who had a minor went to their minor classes. Those of us who did not have a minor, you could do whatever. You could go back to the cabin, take a nap, take a shower, whatever. I always went back to the cabin and took a shower because in the morning, y'all, it was 3 showers in that bitch, and it'll be hella bitches lined up to take a shower. And I was like, yeah, I'm not even about to fucking do this with you hoes. So I would just go back to the cabin and take a shower during during minor time, take a nap, whatever, right? So I was back in the cabin with this mixed girl. So at this time, we were the only 2 in the cabin because other folks was at their minor or doing what the fuck ever, meeting up with their friends, whatever, right? So she just had a whole fucking meltdown. I'm not even joking. Like, she was like, yeah, and I have a lot of resentment towards black people because my black dad abandoned me. And I was just like, okay, because, like, what do I say to that? Like, what the fuck? I'm bringing that up for 2 reasons, right? Because 1, y'all like to blame everything in every community on the women and pretend that men abandoning their children means nothing. But you see the children of these men who were abandoned by them be crashing the fuck out, emotionally unstable, just falling off the motherfucking bone in every way possible, right? And then two, right? This girl is biracial. And she's talking about she has animosity towards black people because her black dad abandoned her, right? Not because her white mother told her to have animosity towards black people or anything like that. No, shit. I don't know what her mama was teaching her. She didn't even mention her mama, right? But even if the mama was trying to teach her to love herself and embrace herself and whatever, well, the fact that her black daddy abandoned her is clearly, interfering with her having any positive feelings about black people or her half blackness or whatever, right? So I say that to say these men are responsible for these falling off the bone ass kids that they create, whether they are black kids, biracial kids, what the fuck ever. Hold these niggas accountable, for real.